I want to bring in Harvard Law Professor Emeritus and defense attorney Alan Dershowitz, Hillary Clinton supporter, and also the author of Electile Dysfunction, a guide for unaroused voters, and there are a lot of them. Alan, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So we've been trying to figure this out. First, what's your take on the latest reports this morning, another story in the Journal, that the FBI is looking into pay-to-play allegations at the Clinton Foundation, whereas you wanted to get to the Secretary of State's office, you paid a toll. You gave money to the Clinton Foundation.
There should be investigations, but we shouldn't be hearing play-by-play descriptions. You know, this is not a baseball game where we say, the Indians have tied it up, now we're going to have a man on first, man on second. Investigations are supposed to be conducted secretly in private, and then an announcement is made by the Attorney General of the United States, we are going to prosecute or we're not going to prosecute. Now we have leaks from the FBI. Look, we have a bigger problem. The biggest problem is that criminal justice has become politicized in America. We have one Attorney General. She's in the cabinet, and she's the political advisor to the President on justice matters, and she's the ultimate law enforcement official. In almost every other country, they divide those functions. There are civil servants, career officials in charge of investigating and prosecuting. That's the way it should be in America.
All right, well, that's all said. That's all fine, and that's all said and good, but the fact is now the horse has left the barn.
Sure.
Okay, we now know that there is an investigation that is now of high priority at the FBI of Clinton dealings with the Clinton Foundation while she was Secretary of State. What's your take on that?
Well, we know a lot of things. We know there's an ongoing investigation of Trump's former campaign manager. We know that Donald Trump has said he's going to be suing everybody who ever complained against him. We know there may be tax investigations. The problem is we're seeing
you think these are equal? No. We're talking about a criminal investigation from the FBI. What
we're seeing is over-criminalization of policy differences on both sides. Candidates ought to be able to run. The criminal law ought to be used only as an absolute last resort. There has to be a kind of Hamlet moment before a crime is committed, to be or not to be a felon. You don't commit crimes by negligently or carelessly, and I think we're seeing too much criminalization on both sides. By the way, I defended the rights of Governor Perry, Congressman DeLay. I don't like it when Democrats push for criminal attacks on Republicans as well. Let's run for office and let the voters decide, not people in suits from law schools making decisions in Justice Department
offices. Yeah, but you still haven't answered the question, Alan. I mean, the content is the content.
Well,
the content is that there are examples whereas donors paid money to the Clinton Foundation and were given special treatment.
But to quote President Obama, we don't go by innuendo and leaks. Let's see the result of a final investigation. As I understand it, there's a dispute. There are those in the Justice Department, probably career people, who say this is all hearsay, it's based on an author who has an axe to grind. If in the end there should be a criminal indictment, let the chips fall where they may.
So why would they make it top priority if there was, nothing? Or
because
they weren't concerned at all?
Because the Clintons, she's running for president, so of course it's a top priority. I would think that the investigation of Trump's former campaign advisor is a top priority too.
No, it's a former campaign advisor.
But he was the campaign advisor at the time it happened.
But it's not Donald Trump.
I understand that. And by the way, it's not Hillary Clinton. No, it's the Clinton Foundation. Now, look, I agree with you. I think if she's elected president, she ought to disassociate herself, her family from the Clinton Foundation, turn it over to the Gates Foundation, turn it over to somebody else. It is wrong to have foundations that accept money from foreign governments, and even the perception exists that there might be favors. But so far, there's been no evidence of any action taken by the State Department that would be a function of money received by the Clintons, by the Clinton Foundation. So let's see what the evidence is produced. But what Comey did was so wrong, to just announce that there is pertinent emails. He hadn't even seen the emails. He doesn't know the context.
You think it would have been better for Comey to shut up, not say anything, Hillary Clinton wins the White House, and then we find out later after she's president? Do you think that would have been better?
Let me tell you what's even worse. So he makes the announcement, Donald Trump wins the White House, and then 2 days later after the election he announced, whoops, we checked, and all of those emails were duplicates of what we had previously seen, and there's nothing new.